G'day cocktail lover, what can I get for you today? I'm almost scared to ask this, but it's the anniversary of the first James Bond book, Casino Royale, being published, and I wanted to try a Vesper Martini. You're right to be cautious, because it has vodka in it, and you know my opinion of vodka in cocktails. Yes, you've made that very clear. But what you might not know about me is I'm a bit of a martini wanker. I like martinis, and I like them a particular way. Dry, and of course, made with gin. If they have vodka, it's really not a martini. So, you're not going to make me one. Tell you what, I've experimented a little with Vespers, and I think there's a scenario where there is actually some value in the recipe. That is genuinely surprising. Make a Vesper and then I'll make an actual martini and you can taste them side by side. I'm interested to see if you pick up on the same element that I think gives the Vesper at least a bit of value as a drink. Are you going to go the whole way and shake it? Definitely have a problem with shaking a martini. That's the second part of the Casino Royale recipe that's straight up wrong. So I may actually leave shaking the martini to my professional shaker and I'll stir the real martini. You have an expert shaker? Don't you know how to shake a cocktail? Of course I can shake a cocktail, but Steve's better at it. He smiles when he does it. Well, how big a deal is that? Oh, if I try to smile while shaking a cocktail, it gets all... Oh my God, why are you like that? Oh, please have someone else shake the cocktail. Like I told you, he's the expert. So Steve will shake the Vesper while I stir a standard dry martini. I'm sure you know is so much better. I'm sure you know how Bond ordered the drink.
Hi, Martin.
Oui, monsieur.
Wait. 3 measures of Gordon's, 1 of vodka, half a measure of quina lily, shake it over rice, and then add a thin slice of lemon, please.
Yes.
We're making a couple of changes from that recipe, but we'll keep the ratios. Some people actually do it 3 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of vodka. That's an insanely strong drink. And seeing as I'm making 2 side by side, I'm going to make them half that size, but with the same ratios as declared by Bond. Now, one of the changes I'm going to make is Bond specifies Gordon's gin. That may have made sense with the gin market in England in the early 20th century. Makes no sense now. Gordon's garbage compared to what you can get, particularly from independent distillers. In fact, we're going to use Steve's gin to make this. He actually makes gin with his partners at Threefold Distilling. Yes, this is their Mediterranean gin, which is a more savoury style of gin. Lends itself really well to a dry martini. So if he makes gin, what are you doing here with you smiling? Hey, professional smiler's a good gig. It's kind of like Tyrion Lannister in Game of Thrones, where he said, you know, I drink and I know things. Steve smiles and he makes drinks. Great gig. So for your Vesper, we're going to start with 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of the Mediterranean gin in the shaker. To that, we are going to add half an ounce or 15 mils of vodka, and then the modifier. Bond specifies quina lily, which actually doesn't exist anymore. The people who made quina lily say their current product, Lillet Blanc, is the same. Other people say, no, it's not. It doesn't have quinine in it. So some people say Coca Americano is a good substitute. It tastes more like quina lily. But if you don't have either, a dry vermouth. Whatever you go with, we're going with 1/4 ounce of your modifier. Then we serve it up in a martini glass with a thin slice of lemon as specified by Bond. Now, tell me what you think the difference between the two is. All right, comparison time. It's... Wow, that gin does make a good martini. And this is the Vesper. I can see, I think I know what you're getting at. It's the flavours of the gin are still here, but the vodka's diluted them a little. Still gin flavours, but with the volume turned down. Exactly. Now, if you are a real fan of gin, this drink makes no sense. Well, why don't I have a gin drink, but with less of the gin that I like? Stupid idea. But if you've not yet really got an acquired taste for gin, this can be essentially a gateway. You still get that quality of gin in the drink, but it's a little subdued and it can be easier for you to get into the drink. So if I follow Bond's recipe, I'm actually doing an easygoing version of a martini. Cool. Very easy to drink. Kind of, but if he was making the 3 parts, 1 part as 3 ounces gin, 1 ounce vodka, still be getting incredibly drunk. But that's my possibly surprising take on the Vesper. There is a situation where the vodka could actually serve a purpose. Well, I never expected you to say anything good about vodka. I'm saying it's training wheels, not exactly a rave review. Like my friend Kirsten says, vodka is the sad story of a spirit that could have been gin if it tried a little harder. So is Steve in your bar permanently? This was a special occasion. He's too busy running his own YouTube channel and writing a book and running the bar at Threefold Distilling. But I think what you should really take away from this whole experience is Steve and I are the same height. Honestly, more than a little weird that you're drawing attention to it like that. No, it isn't. It's a perfectly normal thing to draw attention to. It's just real and true. You might have heard a rumour, I'm fully a foot shorter than Steve. Clearly not true. Same height, okay? So if anyone says something about me being a tiny, tiny person, not true. I am Steve height.